All right, so we have a new mod here that we're going to discuss this evening. It's mostly motivated by some historical reenactment of what happened after the Battle of Ipsus. So, a lot of people that play this game, especially those that play the Theodoki um, successors of Alexander, will know kind of the history of what happens to the Antigonids, and there's a lot of frustration, at least in the social media sites I frequent, about the Phrygian blob that hangs around through most of the game. So I made a mod to um, eliminate that essentially from the get go, and you get to kind of reenact some of the events that happen after the Antigonid realm is carved up. So we're gonna load into this here and showcase the mod. So I think what I want to start with is probably the easiest changes to discuss. So the Seleucid Empire um, is going to take they're were located in Persian Mesopotamia prior to the Battle of Ipsus, and they take Syria essentially, and then into Anatolia. Um, Anatolia is also carved up by Thrace, and then I'll mention here this Cilicia in a minute. Um, Looks like we're having some buffering, but okay. So Egypt similarly maintains its core, and then is going to get the areas of Palestine and uh, parts of southern Syria. Um, you will notice that there were a lot of smaller states. There's the Adiabini, and then the Commagene, the Bambisi, Arodos, Samaria, Judea. All of these minor client states have been eliminated through researching. I didn't find any evidence of them having any form of independence or autonomy from the states that we have here, Egypt and the Seleucids. I think that they were probably included in the base game for some other fun achievements, such as restoring Assyria or the Kingdom of David achievement and whatnot. Um, so I've eliminated them. If you want to play them, you can play them in the base game. But you basically have these two behemoths then in this region. And historically, the Seleucids and Egyptians, the Ptolemaic Egyptians, they warred each other quite a bit. That won't be the showcase of this mod, but it will probably be included in future versions, the so-called Syrian Wars. Um, Moving up into Anatolia, you see that Thrace has taken Asia Minor and then the interior of the peninsula, um, carving out most of the Phrygians' old lands. Um, we have a border here between them and the Seleucids. This is where it starts to get a little hazy. I looked into a lot of sources about how to do the Cilician coast in Cappadocia well. Uh, there's a lot of conflicts about when Cilicia is independent, when it's Seleucid or Egyptian. I think I've crafted some fun events for it as it is. So if you go and look at Cilicia, it's actually ruled by the brother of Cassander. So this is Cassander's brother over from Macedon. It seems that he was given this piece of land during after the Battle of Ipsus to kind of rule, and it doesn't really last for long. I'm not going to give away too much. You'll have to just play, but and there's an opportunity as a player to prevent the historical outcome. But eventually, over time, this gets swallowed up by Egypt. Although there's some other fun things in the more immediate future. Similarly, Cappadocia is a long time vassal state of the Seleucids. It kind of rebels maybe 20 years from this history, but we're going to keep them here. I put Mithridates right now in Pontus. I know there's an event series related to him that he's going to move around, so I'm still working about how to best capture this. Macedon hasn't changed much, except that it has a whole slew of Greek feudatories, because Macedon supposedly after the claims of Ipsus, they had staked their claim for all of Boeotia, Attica, Achaia, and whatnot. So then finally, we kind of come through this, the last character, the Antigonid realm, which has survived Ipsus. There's a few pieces of land here around Ephesus and then the Ionian coast, and then we have Cyprus and the Phoenician coastline that stayed loyal to the Antigonids. I think there's a couple client states, Athens and the Delian League, the Nesiotic League. So the state is much reduced, but this is actually going to be the most fun playthrough, and the mod is named Aeneas because Demetrius, like Aeneas, is going to have to flee westward and find a new home. So even though there's these behemoths in the east, these big three, I think there's a lot of fun to be had playing a smaller state, and there's a lot of flavor events catered to Demetrius and the life he lives after Ipsus in trying to gain something again for himself. So that's kind of the extent of the setup. I think I don't want to give away too much, but maybe I'll just let this run, and I kind of want to show some of what the flavor events